What's up, YouTube? This is going to be your guide on how to use Necrozma Dusk main in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun me movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section. If you enjoy these, they help you out, drop a like, and let's get into it. So, earlier on we did Dawn Wing, so I thought we'd do Dusk main now and finish them off. If you'd like me to cover normal Necrozma, I could do that as well. Just let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that, because it can run a little bit differently. So, with Necrozma Dusk, let's have a look at its stats. So, we got a fat attack stat of 157, good bulk, good special defense, and it's not a super fast Pokemon. 77 in base sort of speed there, and 97 health. So it's got prison armor as well as its ability, and it's got psychic and steel typing, which is pretty good. Steel typing is also always a pretty dang good type. So our first set here is going to be looking at a Dragon Dance set, because it is primarily a physical attacker. So it actually can run a Dragon Dance set pretty well. I've given it a shot before. Now, I know that its speed isn't the greatest in the world, but after a Dragon Dance, it does hit some pretty respectable speed, which can be pretty useful. So, with this, we've got Dragon Dance Rock Blast. This Pokemon is countered by fire types pretty heavily, so I thought Terra Rock would be great. And this can sort of outclass Stone Edge on it as well. So, you've got 90% accuracy, and then you've got 100 base power there. And it can be 125 base power too, which is going to be useful. We've loaded dice as the item. So you've got that hitting 4 times and 4 to 5 times. So it's going to be pretty reasonable for any fire type Pokemon. Now, the other move I've got in there is Earthquake for any steel type Pokemon, just so we don't get walled. That's going to be useful. And of course, it's good against other fire types and such as well. The Terra Rock is more for a defensive kind of Terra, I guess you could say. More defensive Terra. And then we've also got Sunsteel Strike, which is an excellent move. 100 base power, and you ignore the abilities of other Pokemon. So, great for getting around pesky abilities. So, max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature, and loaded dice as the item. So, just a full-on physical set for sure. You can run this Pokemon. It's actually funny because you can run this Pokemon physical or special. It actually works on both ways. So that's Rock Blast and Earthquake gives you pretty good coverage against most things. That allows you to hit most things out there. There might be a few, that will get around it, but most things will get hit by that pretty hard. And it's got good bulk, so you're going to be able to get at least one. Dragon Dance up, maybe even 2. There is this variant as well. Is Sword Dance. That is another variant you could go for. That's going to be a lot more powerful, but the thing is you're not that fast. It's not really that fast Pokemon with 77 base speed. So, you could opt to run it as a Trick Room set as well. So, there's nothing wrong with that. And you give it maximum. You give it like maximum bulk there. I'll give it 248. So you give it a maximum bulk. Just doing entry hazard damage there. EVs. So we got 248, 252, and 8, and then with that we can go first a lot of the time. Then we can set up our Sword Dance and then go for Rock Blast, and that's going to be super powerful. For sure. If you're still worried about its speed, you can do Room Service as well. This is more of a single set, but you could actually, you could use this for doubles. You could actually give this a shot for doubles. I would be inclined for doubles if you use this. I'd be inclined to give it Rock Slide. That'd be quite good. So this could be a good chance of trying to use Rock Slide and Sword Dance as well. Just another variant on Necrozma Dusk main. So you could try it speedy or you could try it slow. I think it would work both ways. I definitely think it would work both ways for sure there. I'm just trying to think of any other Terras that might work for this. You've got some more defensive ones like, say, Terra Water. That could work. That could be quite useful. And maybe Terra Poison as well. So some more like defensive ones, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't use them on this style of set. I'd be using something like rock. Or, you know, rock, ground, or steel. Something like that to power it up, rather than being super defensive on an offensive set. Let's have a look at the next set now. So this set is a Calm Mind, a stored power set. This is just a fat tank, basically. So we've got Calm Mind, Iron Defense. They're going to be increasing all its defenses and its special attack. And stacking with stored power and Moonlight to heal off here. So you can run a similar set with Dawn Wings as well. They can all do this. So we've got 248 in health, 4 in defense, and 8 in defense, and then we've got 252 special defense and bold nature. So basically, it's just going to sit here and set up boosts. More geared towards a singles, unless you have a lot of support on your doubles team, redirection and stuff. And then we've got leftovers as the item there, and we've got stored power, Terra Psychic. So that's going to be hitting very, very hard. Maybe on a set like this, you could do something like maybe Terra Water or a defensive sort of Terra there could work. So yeah, but outside of that, I don't know. You could probably, because you're very steel type, so it's not like you're going to get poisoned or anything like that. So yeah, I'd probably say water is a good defensive one. And then you're only really weak to, electric and grass then. So that's not all that bad. So I would say water is probably the best defensive one there, for sure. I can't really think of anything else that would work, or I can, but I don't think that would be as good as that, you know. So that's another way of running the Dusk main. Let's have a look at some double sets now. So this is going to be a Trick Room set. We have got Clear Amulet as the item, so we don't have any stat drops at all under attack, because I think that's quite important. And then we've got Photon Geyser. So basically, if this is physical, if the user's attack is greater than the special attack, it also ignores abilities too. So you've got 2 moves that ignore abilities, which is really good. Like that's quite good, because you can ignore annoying stuff like, you know, like Mimikry's Disguise and Sturdy and things like that would be annoying. So that's quite good, having 2 main stabs that ignore abilities. Quite strong. So this can set its own Trick Room up, which is really, really good. And Brick Break isn't that strong, but I don't mind that for actually getting rid of screens and Veil and stuff like that. It's not all that bad at doing that. So, and it also gives you a bit of coverage too. It's not going to hit like super, super hard, but that can give you an option of getting rid of any screens and stuff like that. So that could be something you could go for there for sure. You might be able to give it, like, I was thinking you might get rid of Brick Breaking. You could give it Sword Dance. If you're just happy with those 2 powerful moves there, you could do Trick Room Sword Dance. Alternatively, you could have another Pokemon to set Trick Room up for you as well. So that's not, like, Indeedee is a good one as well to set that up. Photon Geyser will be hitting like a truck. So that's so you don't have Trick Room and Sword Dance. That's maybe something you kind of want to consider there. Rocks, already said this one too. But Rock Slide's a good one too. Or if you want to have Sword Dance on there. Kind of like the set I was showing you guys before. So, we got that. So Sword Dance and Rock Slide. And then, EVs are just health and attack. And Brave Nature 0 IV. So that's how I've got about using it. So you've got a couple of options here for Terra. So you've got Psychic, you've got Steel, you've got Rock. So you've got like quite a few different Terras you could use on Duskbane. It's very bulky too, and it's got good typing, and it hits like a truck. This to me, this gets a lot more usage than I'd say this is probably better than, in a lot of cases, than Dawn Wings. Just more so it's typing. That's like the main thing is typing. Not having those big weaknesses. But yeah, that's how I'll go about running a Duskbane set, physical set. I've got some partners and some counters and stuff like that, which I'll discuss in a bit. Let's check out the next set. All right, so this set here, we sort of made it all about Rock Slide because I wanted to do a Speedy set too. So we've got a Trick Room set and then we've got a Speedy set, which you can do. So we've got Terra Rock, obviously, for Rock Slide. We got D-Dance, Earthquake. Now, if you don't like Earthquake, you got to match it with something of Levitate or a Flying type. We'll use Protect. That way you're going to get more damage out of it, so you don't hit yourself as well, your ally. And then you've got Sunsteel Strike, just for some extra damage and stabs. It's a really good move, right? Wide Lens has the item, so you've got that extra 10% boost, which matters a lot on Rock Slide. So that makes Rock Slide 99% accurate, which is good because that you're hardly ever gonna miss with it, and you've got a 30% chance on each Pokemon to flinch too. So you could really, really get some power out of that. And, you know, maybe if you've got a support Pokemon with Helping Hand Rock Slide, that's going to do a lot. And you're going to get flinches as well, so it's going to be pretty powerful. So you've got Sunsteel Strike, Earthquake, and that gives it pretty much great coverage to hit most things. Now, you could alternatively give that Covert Cloak too. You could give it Clear Amulet as well, like if you're not so worried about accuracy. You could give it Lumberry. There's quite a few items that you could go about giving it, depending on what your team can handle. Like, say if you're worried about it being burned, say if you're worried about getting flinched or something like that. That can be useful as well. Quite often these Rock Slide sets or flinching sets don't like being fake out, so Covert Cloak could be a very handy item on there, especially when you're trying to set up and stuff like that initially too. Or you've got your setup and then you're trying to go for Rock Slide sweeping through the team, right? And then someone comes in and just brings a fake out Pokemon, fakes you out, and then the other Pokemon just faints you, you know? So that's probably a really good item for that, you know, for those types of situations when you're relying on outspeeding and flinching, right? Or just doing damage. All right, let's check out the next set here. So this set is going to be just a straight up choice band set. Now you could run this as a speed, or you could run this under Trick Room. Either one of them is going to work, and it works well. You can also run with Assault Vest too. So choice band or Assault Vest, as I've written it there. Okay, so we got Sunsteel Strike and Photon Geyser. Like straight up, those two moves are really good. They're going to hit really, really hard. Both 100 base power each. Okay, so we got Stone Edge. Now, Stone Edge I like on there for Choice Band because it hits stuff like Ho-Oh. You could put Rock Slide on there for doubles. Instead, personally, I would put Rock Slide on there for doubles and Stone Edge on there for singles. So Stone Edge for singles and Rock Slide for doubles. That's how I'll adjust that set for those formats. And then you've got Earthquake as well on there. So you could put Earthquake, or you could put Brick Break on there if you wanted to as well, if you want something else on there. Now, another one, as well as Photon Geyser, you could put Psychic Fangs on there. The really only point of putting this on there is to get rid of screens. That's about it. So if you're worried about, or you don't like screens at all, well, you could put Psychic Fangs on there. But you give up a bit of power. So that's another way of doing it. EVs, 252 in attack and speed. Jolly Nature. Alternatively, if you don't want to run speed, you just want to run full out attack, you go Brave Nature. More attack, a lot more attack. And we want 0 IVs and just, you know, dump everything into there. EV adjustment for singles, I'd put 248 just for any entry hazards, and then doubles 252. So sort of up to what you want to do there. As I said here, you can go Assault Vest. Assault Vest allows you to actually use other moves as well. So that's just going to be useful, so not trapping you into one move, but you are going to lose some power there, so just realize that. So once again, Trick Room, you could do the Assault Vest or the Speedy one there. So just another way of doing it. As for Terra, you've got Steel, Psychic, Rock, and Ground, or yeah, I wouldn't go defensive on that. I'd just go full out. I'm actually trying to think of some other good ones you could use there. Maybe there's like hyper specific stuff, but maybe you have Grass if you didn't get put to like any sleeping moves. But then again, you're still weak to fire, so I don't think that's that great an idea. No, I don't think it's that great an idea to run that. Maybe Dark could be another one as well. Just trying to think of like more defensive ones, but or Water, you know, they're those ones. But for the offensive set, I would go with Psychic, Steel, Rock or Ground, something like that. Something to boost up your move. You know, you need that extra sort of boost there. Steel is still pretty good on there. I think Stun, Steel, Strike is still going to hit really hard, so that's definitely something you could go for as well. Let's have a look at a Hypnite special set, and then we're going to discuss some teammates, some counters, and some other options. Alright, so I thought we'd go for a special set here, and I've got you a true Hypnite special. We got the beam set here. So we've got Necrozma Dusk main beam deluxe. So we've got Meteor Beam, Solar Beam, Hyper Beam, and Charge Beam. Now we've got a bag of salt as the item, and we've got 252 EVs in special attack and speed. Got that timid nature. And we're going to be boosting up our special attack using Meteor Beam and Charge Beam. We're going to be firing off those Terra Normal Hyper Beams. And we're going to be dodging it with Bright Powder. It's going to be the greatest set in the world. It's totally going to work, all right? It's going to be really, really good. Did I convince you? So, yeah, bit of a fun set here. Now, alternatively, you could put Power Herb on there as well if you want to, like, get that Meteor Beam initially off there. That could work. You could go Meteor Beam, then Charge Beam, then fire off Hyper Beams. You could use it in the sun and use Solar Beam instantly. That could work. Or you can use Solar Beam straight away on a ground-type Pokemon that comes in there and clap their cheek. So you got some options there, right? You got some options with this amazing Hypnite special set. Give it a try. Obviously, it'll definitely work. All right, let's check out some team counters and stuff now. So as I already mentioned before, Indeedee was going to be a very good partner for this Pokemon. For sure. You know, with Psychic Surge, Trick Room, a good Trick Room user, and Follow Me. Same as Door Wings. They make good partners, you know, especially Door Wings. But this still works as well. So that can work well for the Trick Room set. Now, Incineroar is a good partner for Duskmane, because that covers its weaknesses. They have pretty dang good synergy together. I've done a guide on Incineroar already, so they've got some good synergy together. Absolutely good synergy, you know. Really, really good synergy. You know, you've got Intimidate, Parting Shot, Fake Out. It's good synergy, for sure. Another good one too could be Whimsicott. Whimsicott will be good at setting up Tailwinds, and it also can be good at getting rid of those dark type threats as well. It can carry Moonblast, so it could be quite a good threat there for sure. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. Probably even a powerful. You could have a powerful special attacker like Ursaluna as well. Ursaluna Blood Moon. That could work nicely on this team as well. And with its typing and such too, for, you know, being the normal type, so that could definitely be useful on this team. I'm just trying to think of some other options there. There's quite a few that you could probably have on there. It does work into a lot of other teams too. I think Ho-Oh wouldn't be a bad option as well. I mean, Ho-Oh's quite a good counter. Like, I would say Ho-Oh's a good counter and a good teammate for it. The only thing Ho-Oh has to worry about is if it is packing, like, you know, Rock Slide or Stone Edge. That would be the only thing Ho-Oh has to worry about. If not, it counters it pretty well. It's very, very tanky. You can just swap out and get Regenerator Boost. So that's a good one. Trying to think of some other good ones that would be nice for him. Maybe some other steel types as well. I mean, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, and stuff like that. That's gonna, you know, Shadow Rider counters a lot of things, so that's definitely good for sure at getting around that. It doesn't want to take hits though. That's the only thing that would be something that would be very, very bad for it. So any of those two Pokemon, even Kyogre, as I say, even Kyogre is going to be pretty good for it because it won't be able to use Sunsteel Strike against it at all. And it's got a fat special defensive stat. So it's going to be able to live attacks, and then it can, you know, hit it really, really powerful, like, you know, Origin Pulse or something like that, or Water Spout, you know, depending on depending on what the set is. I've also done a Kyogre guide if you want to check it out. But yeah, there's some good counters and stuff like that. It's quite a, it's not really that hard to counter, really. If I'm honest about it, it's not that hard to counter. Some other good Pokemon. I've already mentioned I've already mentioned a couple already. Maybe I was gonna say Iron Hands is pretty good as well. If you're using Trick Room, so you got Iron Hands, even Annihilate. There's some other good teammates on top of that as well. You've got stuff. I wonder if, like, I'm trying to think of some more gimmicky Pokemon. How about Chandelure? Maybe you could do something like Chandelure and Flash Fire. That could be kind of interesting, but you'd have to watch out for Earthquake. So there are some other options that you could go for there, maybe, or other slow Pokemon. Maybe some other Pokemon like. I was gonna say normal Pokemon that are slow, like Ursaluna, but I don't think there's. I'm trying to think. Well, there's Greedent, Snorlax. They're a bit more like gimmicky. You got Ursaluna as well. So you got Ursaluna and Ursaluna Blood Moon. They could work. Either one of those could work on that team. Getting around counters and such, and just powerful allies. So that could work. Trick Room. How about Hatterene as well? That wouldn't be too bad, because Hatterene can get around some of those counters. It can set up Trick Rooms. It can also bounce back any statusy moves and such like that too. So that's another option there for sure. So lots of counters there and teammates. Let's have a look at some final sort of options and moves here for it. So I think this has exactly the same moves as Dawn Wings. I think these have got exactly the same moves, except for the signatures. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think they're all the same. Exactly the same as my last video I just did. The same sort of moves there. I covered most of these already. You might be able to have a substitute and leftover set in singles, which could be annoying. Gravity and Imprison it does get, but it depends how. Like, I'd say Dusk main is more common, so you could try. You could try in Sunsteel Strike and Imprison. That you could try something like that. But it would be a waste. A lot of the time with those Imprison sets, it can be a wasted slot. These are his physical moves. We sort of went over most of these. Nothing is really popping out of me to try, and mention here. It does get Smart Strike, but you don't really have to worry about those, obviously minimize and stuff like that. It gets Iron Head is worth a mention. You might be able to make a Dragon Dance flinching set. Actually, I already did that. See this set I did here? You might be able to, at cost of a bit of base power, you might be able to put Iron Head there instead, so you could get some flinches. That could work too, but you are giving up a lot of power for a flinch. You're giving up 20 base power, so there is that. So that's another option you could go for. That's about all I have to add there. There's not a lot. They're all the same. Status moves, and these are special moves, but same sort of special moves as Dawn Wings as well. Same sort of stuff there. I already mentioned, and yeah, that's gonna be it for Dusk main Necrozma. So we did Dawn Wings earlier on. We've done Solgaleo. We've done all of them now. I guess the only one. Would you guys like to see Necrozma, like normal Necrozma? That might be interesting to cover that. Let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts and stuff. If you enjoyed it, drop a like there. If you want me to cover any Pokemon, put them below. I am sort of trying to finish all the legendaries off first, and then I'll sort of get onto some other ones. That's about it, everyone. Peace out.